All right, we are here. We're running a little behind. Apologize for those that are tuning in to Prep Huddle Live, week number 2. Yes, that is the name of the show, Prep Huddle Live. We're excited to have you joining us week 2. Maybe this is your second week in a row. If you're a new viewer, pumped that you've joined us here on Striv Sports. We've come up with a name for the show. We had to dig in the archives. We lost sleep over it. But we finally came up with a name, and I'm going to turn it over to Tony because it was actually close to Tony's heart, the reason we named it Prep Huddle Live. So Tony, why don't you explain that a little bit?
Taylor, you hit the nail on the head, lost some sleep. So after our show last week, I woke up about 1:30 in the morning, and it just hit me. People that followed me on Twitter before we launched Striv Sports knew that I was at the Prep Huddle, as I used to have a website called the Prep Huddle that was dedicated to this, and because my life was so busy, I didn't really have time to dedicate the amount of time that I needed to, and with your help, we relaunched Striv Sports, so we still have all the Prep Huddle things in the archives, and we kind of dug those up, and the Prep Huddle is a perfect name for the show, and then, of course, they always say mother knows best, so my mom told me that we needed to add live to the end of it since it's a live show. So Prep Huddle Live, and you've got it right there. So that's how we named the show.
Awesome. I love it. So we're excited to have a name associated with the show now. We hope you guys continue to watch the show. Quick shout out, and we're going to jump right into our game of the week last week, which you can see here. Coach Stein was our first guest on the show. He hooked me up, went there this week, hooked me up with a Northwest Vikings Academy 2014 shirt. So thank you, Coach Stein, if you're watching live or the recording. Appreciate it. And I returned the favor, got him a Striv shirt. So that offer still stands. Any school that sends me a shirt will send you a Striv shirt, and I will wear it on the show. So, all right, guys, I'll let you guys jump in. We got a couple clips here of our game of the week last week between the Grand Island Northwest Vikings and McCook in Grand Island. I'll let you guys take it away.
Well, thanks, Taylor. And Bobby Mills is with us this week, which we're really excited about. And Bobby, I know you were on the sidelines for that one as well. With us this week, which we're really excited about. Just a quick recap of that one. And Bobby, I know you were on the sidelines for that one as well. And Northwest obviously allowed 2 big plays, and it was probably a game that maybe was a little bit closer than a final score indicated. But I know, Bobby, that we talked. The big bruiser from McCook, Matson, is quite the running back, isn't he? Your thoughts on him?
Well, he's great. Not only is he a good size, but I'm amazed by his agility and speed both. He can just plant and cut so quickly, and the one run really, really put him in a hole, didn't it?
Yeah, and Coach Gross even said after the game, it wasn't blocked very well, and I think you were maybe a little closer to that one than I was, but there wasn't much there, and then he got into the secondary, and for a 210-pound kid, they couldn't catch him. So, he's special, and I think probably the thing that we are underappreciated maybe about McCook right now in 2 games that haven't given up a point. That's a pretty fast defense they have on the other side of the ball, isn't it?
Boy, it is, and they had the perfect game plan because they were going to put pressure on Christian Ellsworth from the beginning. That poor kid didn't even have time to plant and set and throw. And perfect game plan, and that's where they executed it just right.
Yeah, and of course they were probably playing without their best defender, Colton Siss, who sounds like will be back maybe about week 5 after just a little minor knee injury, it sounds like, in their first game. So McCook probably will continue to get better and better as the season goes on, don't you think?
I think so, and they were smart enough to have another option at quarterback, because when you have a kid like Colton Siss playing linebacker, hey, there's going to be some bang-up games where he's going to get nicked up a little bit. So, yeah, they had things all in order.
Yep, absolutely. That kind of wraps it up there, Taylor. I know 45-0, but again, McCook scores on 2 one-play drives in the first quarter for 2 of their touchdowns, and then they also return a fumble for a touchdown. So, 3 of their scores were really quick, and Northwest, I think they only crossed midfield 3 times. We're just really impressed with that McCook defense, and I'm sure we're going to see them hopefully a couple more times before the year's out. So a pretty fun team to watch.
Absolutely. I was there, and you can see we got some pictures from behind the game, and McCook was pretty impressive. It was fun to watch, and they've got a game. They're one of our Striv schools. They're heading out to Scotts Bluff this week, so that'll be a fun game to see the score on that. So let's jump right into volleyball and just kind of do a little roundup review for this week. We got some some games that happened last week that I know you want to touch on, Tony, and then some great games coming up on Thursday night to watch on Striv. Yeah. So I'll let you kind of touch on that.
Yeah, we'll just kind of quickly recap the rankings. Obviously, Millard West 3-0 in Class A, and they're ranked 5th in the all-class top 10, as well as in Class A. Grand Island Northwest went down to Beatrice. Always a tough tournament down there. They go 5-1, kept their preseason ranking at number 4. Aurora is 5-2. They moved up from 8th to 7th in Class B. And then looking through C1, do I see anybody there, Taylor? I don't think so.
Nope.
In C2, Sutton is into the rankings at 8th. And then as we go down, let's see, Creighton is ranked in D1 at 9th. And then in D2, which I was going to talk about, Hampton is 3rd up from their preseason ranking of 4th. And they went down to the triangular with BDS and Exeter Milligan, both teams who qualified for the state tournament last year, and Hampton got 2 wins there. It doesn't get any easier for them to start the season. They'll be on Striv tomorrow night. They're hosting a triangular at home, and they will have Dorchester in that triangular as well as Giltner, who is ranked 2nd in D2, and they will be playing. I think they'll play the last game of the night. In that tournament, Giltner started their season last week with a win over High Plains, and so Giltner is now 2nd in D2, Hampton is 3rd, and that should be a pretty fun one tomorrow night. And then I think I might just take the car up to Grand Island Northwest tomorrow night and watch the Vikings again. They're 4th. They'll be playing North Platte, who's ranked 6th in Class A. And they are 4-0 right now, and North Platte led by a good junior middle hitter, Olivia Nicholson, who just last week committed to play her volleyball at Colorado State. So that should be a fun night tomorrow, and that game will be on Striv. That game will be on Striv on the Northwest channel as well. So a lot of fun things going on in the football or in the volleyball world here for us as well.
Absolutely, that'll be a fun game to watch at Northwest, and a great match to tune in and watch. I believe that's a 7:30 start if everything moves quickly with the JV games and stuff before that. Yeah. So, all right, let's move on to football and kind of take a look at the rankings that came out this week, Tony. And we've got a host of games that I know you want to touch on that Bobby can kind of join in as well. That are coming up on Friday night.
To show off, because I think Bobby and I could probably talk for an hour on some of these games that are coming up this week. So Millard West 0-2, ranked 8th in Class A. Bobby, really quickly on this one, they play Lincoln East on Friday, I believe, and Lincoln East is a team that had a pretty impressive defensive performance last week against North Star.
They did, and especially because I thought North Star did a heck of a job offensively against Omaha Central. So that one has grabbed my interest. Normally this game, you'd think Millard West is going to be the easy victor, but boy, I don't know. It's got my interest peaked also.
Yep, and of course Omaha Central, a Striv school as well. They are 5th. They are 5th in Class A, and we obviously love Class B. That's kind of our bread and butter right now. So McCook is 3rd, still unscored upon. They will travel to 10th-ranked Scotts Bluff. Scotts Bluff was the only team, I believe, Bobby, if I'm right, that beat them in the regular season last year. So probably a little revenge factor on their minds there. And then Crete, that should be a fun one. They'll travel up to Omaha, and they play Omaha Scott. Your thoughts on that one? That should be pretty good. And, heck, you never know, possibly a finals preview.
It could be. How about the quarterback matchup, Alex McGinnis for Crete against Isaiah Ramsey. But it doesn't get much better than that. Scott's been so stingy on defense. You know, we'll find out how good Crete is, and what would happen if Crete would beat Scott. Boy, that would throw things into a heck of a deal. But it's going to be a great matchup, that's for certain. Two great
I
coaches.
think so. Yeah. And then Aurora, obviously, after the tough overtime loss in our first game of the week against Crete, they went to Alliance. Always tough to make that long road trip and got to win there. They are still 7th at 1-1. And then in C1, obviously, we have top-ranked Boone Central, third-ranked Cozad, and Wilbur Claytonia is 8th, and another 0-2 team that is ranked is Syracuse. I know Stu had them here at 1-1 on the screen, but they have played Ashland Greenwood and they have played Wahoo Newman, and they've lost 2 tough ones there. And they will try to get their first win of the week or the season against, I believe, Lincoln Lutheran this week. We'll move into Class C2. We have Sutton has got into the rankings at 9th. And let's see. And then Bruning, Davenport, Shickley, Heartland, Creighton. We got loads of schools in D1 there. Creighton 4th, Heartland 5th. BDS is 6th. And then in D2, Exeter Milligan is 4th. So we've got a lot of ranked football teams. And Taylor, I know you're excited about last Friday. We had over people watching football games on Striv, and that's just great. But yeah, let's get into Bobby, some of the games we wanted to preview, and we've kind of already touched on Crete and Omaha Skutt. McCook and Scotts Bluff both are 2-0. One we're intrigued about that we'll see on Striv is Southern Valley. They'll be hosting North Platte St. Pat's, and they're both 2-0. Bobby, do you have any thoughts on that one really quick?
Well, I tell you what, it's just hard to go against Dodson and North Platte St. Pat's, but Southern Valley's having a heck of a season to start, so that'll be a good test for them. But St. Pat's is just so tough.
Yep, St. Pat's is really good. They've obviously got that week 1 win against Donovan Trumbull, who's the defending state champs. And Bobby, you and I were texting earlier today about that C27. Those 6 teams are 9-3 right now. You have Southern Valley, who's a Striv school at 2-0. Hastings St. Cecilia is 2-0. And then Sandy Creek and Sutton are both 2-0. So it'll be interesting once district play gets going to see how that shakes out, won't it?
It will be, and like we talked about, the kind of unknown in the wild card, Sandy Creek. They don't usually issue a lot of stats, so you can look at unknown in the wild card. I'm glad to see that program where it's at. So we'll see how they fare when they start banging heads with these guys.
Yep, absolutely.
Another
one we've got that I believe Taylor will be on Striv is Centennial, who made the playoffs last year and is 2-0, and they'll play Southern, or I'm kind of one of those old guys. I probably still call them Wymore Southern. So a couple 2-0 teams there too as well, Bobby.
Can that kid throw the football or what? So I don't know much about Southern, but that quarterback is it Gearhan? I can't even remember the kid's name from Centennial, but I do know he can throw a football a long ways and have people catch it on the other end.
Right, and then which I think you mentioned you might go down there. You're kind of still undecided on where you might go Friday, but Donovan Trumbull will play Hershey, which both of those teams are 1-1, and getting to 2-1 early it would be a big deal for either one of those teams, right?
It would be, and I know Coach Smith at Hershey wants to make amends because 28-0 is really not shameful to St. Cecilia when you lose, but he wasn't very happy with the way they played, and they're going to come in loaded for bear when they come to Donovan Friday.
Right, and then we have got 2 really good 8-man games that we think will be fun to watch. You'll have 2 teams that are both 0-1, but Blue Hill lost a tough game to Bruning Davenport Shickley, and they'll play High Plains. So High Plains lost a tough game to Guardian Angels, which I'll be real honest, that game was a little closer than I thought it would be. I thought maybe Guardian Angels they got out to a quick halftime lead, but boy, High Plains played really well in the second half. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get their first win in that game on Friday night as well.
Well, High Plains, for all the people they lost through graduation, must be doing a marvelous job to come back against Guardian Angels Central Catholic. That's a feat in itself.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm going to head down to Shickley, and I'm Man, I'm excited. Shickley, Bruning Davenport Shickley, who beat Blue Hill then last week, 30-23. They are fifth in. They're sixth in D1, and they'll play second-ranked Giltner. And that's just kind of an old-school crossroads conference game. Giltner's second in D2, and Coach Ashby will have those guys prepared. That should be a fun one, don't you think?
I think so. If they score over 40 points combined, that's going to be surprising. Those defenses are terrific.
Yeah, a lot of fast athletes on both sides of the ball there. So that should be fun. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be perfect fall weather, so it should be exciting.
Should be a great night for football.
Yep, absolutely. Taylor, I think that wraps up our preview there. So, it should be a fun night, and we've got a great game of the week that we're going to be announcing here later in the show. So, it should be a fun night for us.
Absolutely, that was a fantastic preview. Thank you guys for doing that. These are two of the best guys in the state. You know where to follow them on Twitter, at Striv Sports, and then I believe it's at 1,000 Yard Guy. Is that right, Bobby Mills?
Yeah, yep.
So you can follow those guys on Twitter. Tony is running our Twitter account on Striv Sports, so you know where they'll be on Friday night. Be sure to give them a follow for all the updates going across on in NEB Preps sports. So next we're going to talk to you about our Striv Star of the Week. Unfortunately, we couldn't grab any huddle clips like we did last week with Boone Central's Wyatt Mazur, but Grant Norder from BDS, who you guys were just talking about, is our Striv Star of the Week. And Tony, you want to talk a little bit about his game last week against Blue Hill?
Yeah, well, again, we kind of touched on this one last week. We thought it would be good. Both teams have been in the playoffs every year, won a playoff game every year since 2004. Blue Hill had done it all in Class C2, playing 11-man, and this thing was everything and then some. I kind of wish I'd have been there. So Grant Norder, he's not going to jump out on the stat sheet at you. He ran for 23 yards. He rushed or passed for 161 yards, but he threw the game-winning touchdown with about 40 seconds left, and about a 45-yard touchdown. And so he also, Bruning Davenport Shickley was down early in this game. Blue Hill scored the first 15 points, and then right before halftime, it was 15-8, and Blue Hill was going in to score, and Bruning Davenport Shickley forces a fumble. Grant picks it up and runs it 77 yards for a touchdown to make it 15-14 at halftime. And then they play a scoreless third quarter. BDS takes the lead in the fourth quarter, 22-15. And then Blue Hill comes right back and scores to go up 23-22 with, I believe, about 3 minutes left. And then, of course, that set up Grant's pass. Grant's pass to, I believe it was TJ Krupichka, who caught the game-winning touchdown pass with, again, it was about inside of about 40 seconds left for a 30-23 win for BDS. And the Eagle defense forced 4 turnovers that night, and BDS did not turn it over. So very good game, about what we expected. Grant also had 15 tackles on the defensive side. So I'm really excited to see BDS and Giltner go at it on Friday night. It should be a fun one. So
absolutely. So that is our Striv Star of the Week, Grant Norder from the BDS Eagles football team. All right, we are going to take just a short. Yep, go ahead.
Taylor, I'm sorry. If we have 30 seconds, I just wanted to give a shout-out to 3 more kids.
Okay.
If we could real quick. Bobby, I know you recognize Sutton. I think he's closing in on about 600 yards of rushing already through 2 games. And then I'd also like to give a quick shout-out to Aaron Lee from York, who won the Boone Central invite last Friday, and also Warren Dexter from Nebraska Christian, who won the Boone Central invite. And we're just we're working on a piece that about the Nebraska Christian cross country team that I hope we'll have posted up on Striv tomorrow. So pretty excited about the early start to the year for those guys as well.
Yes, thank you for adding that, Tony. Appreciate that. All right, we are going to take just a short 30-second break. We've got a special guest that's going to join us in studio, and we will be announcing our game of the week. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I get it. For the little things. Technology's great. It makes things easier. It's faster. We can get things done wherever we go. And we get all that from our bank. It works for us. But for the bigger things, the things that really count, I still want to talk to the people I know and trust. That's why I'm here.
That's fine. Good. Let me know when you're ready. And I'll move. All right, we are back, and we are ready to announce our game of the week. This week is going to feature Class D1, number 5 ranked Heartland Huskies versus Nebraska Christian up in Central City. And the Huskies topped McCook Junction last week 66-0 in their opening game at home. And Nebraska Christian beat East Butler 28-22. Both those teams made the playoffs last year. And as you can see, we have Coach Erik Wetjen, the Heartland Huskies. We had the opportunity to bring him in the studio here at Striv. Lives in Henderson, where we're located. And so thanks for joining us, Coach, on Prep Huddle Live is the name of the show.
Well, thanks. Appreciate you having us. Thank
Absolutely. So let's talk about last week, your opening win over McCook Junction. Obviously, you had to be very pleased with the shutout and with the effort on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, we had some anticipation coming off last year's playoff game, and after the summer and stuff, lifting weights, you're trying to put everything together and see what product you have for the start of the next year. And we thought first game of the season with McCook, we thought both all our kids top to bottom, at all our different skill levels of, with 9th grade through 12th, how they're going to play, and we thought they played real well.
Absolutely. Expectations are pretty high for you guys, and I know I've talked to you about this. You got a great group of guys back. I know you're excited. I'll let you talk about the freshmen that you have coming in as well. But how do you think the kids responded to that, being ranked in the top 10 to start the season before the first game, and just kind of talk a little bit about how the guys have reacted to that?
Anytime you get ranked, it's you feel very grateful, and that doesn't happen all the time. We've talked about as a team that, hey, it's great that you're recognized, but at the same time, you got to go out each week and prove that you are very deserving of that ranking, and that's kind of where we just keep it. Absolutely.
I know coaches always preach 1 week at a time, one game at a time, but you got quite a stretch coming up here after Nebraska Christian. You've got Blue Hill, High Plains at home. And then you're going to go up to Humphrey Lindsay Holy Family, which is new on the schedule. Heartland hasn't played them before. They've got a bunch of traditions. So what do you hope to learn about your team the next few weeks here with some pretty solid opponents?
Well, I think here with, down the stretch, like you said, we've got some tough games. I think it's just how we're going to persevere and handle each game and just see what kind of depth we have and how our young kids have been helping us in practice and how we can work them in the game and I guess just see what we're made out of. It's going to be you play all these games right now because of what's at the end of the season, and I think it's going to gauge where we're at and obviously there's always room of improvement no matter what the outcomes of the games are. But we definitely are a long ways from being a state caliber team that we know they need to be.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about the game of the week. You guys are going to head up to Central City, first road game. You opened at home. What are the keys to taking on Nebraska Christian and coming up with a W there on Friday?
Well, I think the first and foremost thing is we want to take care of the ball and not put it on the ground or have any turnovers. There's a chance for rain, and that could make you. We're gonna have to concentrate a little bit more as a team and just take care of the ball. And with Nebraska Christian, it's going to be one of those things that you get a feel watching Huddle and feel breaking down game film, but it's still not the same thing as playing it. And they're going to be a good team, and they're very well coached, and Coach Ostrand does a good job with his players.
All right, and we look forward. That game will be streamed on the Nebraska channel, Nebraska Christian channel on Striv. And so we hope if you're not able to make it up there, obviously want you to be at the game. But if you're unable to go, you can watch that. I'll be up there grabbing some photos. Tony's going to be heading, like he said, over to Shickley for the BDS Giltner game. Be a ton of great games to be able to watch on Striv. We're excited for this week, and we've got a bunch of games you can check out on the upcoming events on striv.tv for volleyball action tomorrow night. So thanks, Coach, for coming in.
Hey,
appreciate the interview and our first in-studio interview on Prep Huddle Live. So, Tony, you got any closing thoughts?
No, just that, again, thanks for all the support we've got so far this year. We had a few people tune in last week, and we hope to build our audience as the week goes on and give them good information. Glad we got Bobby in this week, and hopefully we can make this a routine occurrence that we'll come here on Wednesday nights and chat and have a little fun and promote high school sports. That's what it's all about.
All right. Thanks, guys. Great show. And again, quick shout out to JC, our producer, who puts all this together each week. He's been working hard. And hope everyone has a great rest of the week. And we will see you next week, same time, 7:30, Prep Huddle Live. I'm Taylor Siebert. And that's Tony.